Good morning, students. We had stopped in between, I think, after the second page of chapter 9, My Greatest Olympic Prize. We were speaking about how Jesse Evans felt um, a bit disappointed when he failed in his trial. He failed twice in the trials, and that had given him much tension, and he was almost disappointed. It was then we come to know how Les Long expressed his love and friendship to him, advising him to draw a line few inches in back of the board and to aim at making his takeoff from there. And it proved so successful to Evans, and he qualifies in the finals. Now, I think it is from there we need to begin. He says Les Long teaches him a lesson that tomorrow is what counts, and it did not matter if he was not first in the trial. And all these released tension from Jesse Evans. Already he was much tensed with the superiority theory of the Aryans, the Hitler's rumors, and everything had a kind of irritation within him that had its side effect in his rehearsals. Now we come to know the beauty of relationship here, how the true spirit of sportsmanship exhibited by Les Long, and how he is fair in his dealing with his other competitor, the rival, and the way how respectful and sense of fellowship he expressed in his dealing with the Jesse Evans. And please take page 106. And we start from the first paragraph of page 106. Suddenly, all the tension seemed to ebb out of my body as the truth of what he said hit me. What was the truth? That tomorrow is what counts. And that about means it receded, or it flow back his tension from his own body, and he became so confident. Confidently I drew a line a full foot in back of the board and proceeded to jump from there. I qualified with almost a foot to spare. And now we know how Les Long had advised him. He said, draw a line few inches in back of the board and aim at making his takeoff. And then it proved so successful for Jesse Evans. That night, I walked over to Les Long's room in the Olympic Village to thank him. I knew that if it hadn't been for him, I probably wouldn't be jumping in the finals the following day. We sat in his quarters and talked for 2 hours about a track and field, ourselves, the world situation, a dozen other things. And so that night, what happened between Jesse and Les Long? A beautiful friendship was developed at that night. He walked to Les Long's room in the Olympic Village, okay? And then they sat together and talked 2 hours about all kinds of things, not only about themselves, but about the game, the political situation, everything that mattered them, they spoke. And there was a kind of true friendship between Les Long and Jesse Evans. They were supposed to be the rivals, but here they developed a beautiful friendship. When I finally got up to leave, we both knew that a real friendship had been formed. Les would go out to the field the next day trying to beat me if he could. But I knew that he wanted me to do my best, even if that meant my winning. These lines are very, very powerful, students, which exhibit the real theme of this article itself. Okay, this is the beautiful lines. Okay. Both are competitors, and how Les Long dealt with the Jesse Evans' psychological difficulty. Okay, how he made firm, how Leslong gave such kind of push in the life of Jesse that created a kind of psychological stability in Jesse that brought the complete victory. And they knew in the field they need to be rivals, competitors, one against the other. And it did not matter for Les who will be winning. And here we find Leslong as a real friend, a guide, and a support to Evans. As it turned out, Les broke his own past record. In doing so, he pushed me into a peak performance. I remember that at the instant I landed from my final jump, the one which set the Olympic record of 26 feet 5.5 by 16 inches. He was at my side congratulating me. Now Les did his best, but what happened there? He pushed me to a peak performance, but Les in such a way encouraged Jesse Evans that Jesse could do his best with the peak performance, the highest record ever he could do. That was encouraged by Les. I remember that at the instant I landed from my final jump, the one which set the Olympic record of 26 feet 5 by 16 inches. And we know in the beginning how he had broke the record. What was his record? 26 feet 8 1 by 4 inches. He was at my side congratulating me, despite the fact that Hitler glared at us from the stands not 100 yards away. Les shook my hand hard, and it wasn't a fake smile with a broken heart sort of grip either. And there it was Les who could shake hand with Jesse Evans, congratulating him from the heart. It was not a fake one, but it was a real grip of friendship. And who was there standing the other side and watching? Hitler was watching all this. And you know what would happen, what would befall on Leslong for this performance of his. But he was not afraid. He was a confident man, a young, beautiful friend, a guide and a support. You can melt down all the gold medals and cup I have, and they couldn't be a plating on the 24-carat friendship I felt for Leslong at that moment. Underline the word 24-carat friendship, children. What is that 24-carat friendship? It meant you must have heard when a gold is being weighed, it is always said as 24-carat gold. This 24-carat is meant for the pure gold without any mixture of any other metal. Usually the metal gold is mixed with copper and other things which is impure. Okay, but here 24-carat gold means the purest gold. So is here the purest friendship. He is telling their friendship was that pure and that healthy that it far excelled even the 24-carat gold. I realized then too that Les was the epitome of what Pierre de Coubertin, founder of the modern Olympic game, must have had in mind when he said the important thing in the Olympic game is not winning but taking part. The essential thing in life is not conquering but fighting well. Underline, the essential thing in life is not conquering but fighting well. It is not in conquering or having victory over something, but winning, but fighting well. You do your part the best. Coubertin, the founder of the Olympic Games, had declared that taking part in Olympics was more important than winning. And then Les Long, being a true sportsman and an amazing human being, helped his fellow sportsman Jesse Evans to qualify in his gem that made him win. This shows Long believed in participating rather than winning, and his rival's winning did not make him jealous, did not upset him. He was so happy, and it was not a show off, but it was a grip of friendship that he extended when Jesse Evans won the game. On the contrary, he congratulated him with all his heart. This all clearly shows, exemplifies that Long believed in the Coubertin's words and passed the thought to Evans. And then we know Leslie was trained in the Nazi youth school, and evidently Hitler had an eye on him that he is going to give or going to confirm that supremacy of the Aryan by winning the Olympic game. But it all went in vain. And then but we know how friendly Les Long was. His Les Long's friendship was the greatest Olympic prize for Evans. He considered his as 24 carat friendship. That pure was the greatest prize for Jesse Evans. And Les Long's compassion and camaraderie touched Evans. Les Long recognized the battle in Evans' mind and offered him a valuable tip. And he was genuinely happy for Evans, isn't it? When he won the gold, he was by Evans' side. And then he congratulated him. It is very rare for a rival to offer such kind of professional tips to his other competitor, but Long did it. It is very rare for the rivals to congratulate the winner without feeling a kind of, at least a kind of a jealousy within. But Long felt none of such kind of jealousy and envy towards his friend. What Long felt was evident in what he said and how he looked. His selflessness proves that he was an epitome of goodness and true sportsmanship. His congratulating Evans on his victory was of great value to Evans than the gold medal itself. And that is the title of the story itself, isn't it? The greatest Olympic prize. And so children, go through the lesson. If any doubt, you may tell me. I will explain to you. Hope you have understood. Go with the explanations in the workbook as well. All the best, students.